make of Bronny James being drafted? LeBron James has carried the NBA for 20 years. He didn't have a long playoff run this year. Did you see the NBA ratings? As every other sport, WNBA, Copa, Euros, college football, up. NBA ratings, tank. No LeBron. Isn't it kind of an understanding in America? You do me well, I owe you a solid. That's like a given, right? I take you to the airport. You're buying the next dinner. I help you move. I get a little something back. If I carry your sport, get you a new TV contract worth $7 billion, you got a problem with Bronny James getting drafted by the Lakers? It's the weakest NBA draft in maybe ever. It shows how polarizing LeBron James is. And my takeaway is, you're really bothered by it? LeBron James has carried the league for 20 years. He and Steph Curry have carried the league. Neither made a playoff run this year. Ratings went to the tank. No LeBron, no Steph. Yeah, I'm okay in the weakest draft ever, the Lakers going, we'll do you solid. By the way, I think his son's a G-leaguer. I think at best he's a low-end rotational player. This draft was horrible. By the way, how many sons who aren't qualified or at minimum aren't the best candidate end up on their father's staff in the NFL or college? Nobody gets too worked up over that. I'm not losing sleep over it, and nor should you. Now, all sorts of stuff going on today. A lot of shows think this is the slow time of the year, but when you wear these optimistic shirts, these dynamic shirts, brings out the best in you. A lot of stuff coming out of this apparel today. We're really an apparel show is what we are. People don't understand that. That's what we are. You know, I always said McDonald's is really a real estate company. They just do burgers on the side. We are an apparel show. These shows, our shirts, drive the content. And here's J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Yeah, I thought we'd talk a lot Chiefs this summer, because they're not going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be a letdown. So we'll just get out of the way now. The Chiefs, obviously on the hunt for the NFL's first three-peat in the Super Bowl era. They've got Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. And although the first-round pick has missed some time this spring with the hamstring injury, that's Worthy, Mahomes said he won't be treated with kid gloves.
There's no easy. He's going to have to get out and be ready to go. We got a lot of competition on this offense. Brett Veach and Coach Reed did a great job bringing a lot of competition in. And Xavier, he got a lot of mental work in these last few weeks that he had during OTAs and minicamp, but it's time to go now. And y'all saw with Rasheed last year and some of the throwing up days he had. We're gonna push you to the limit and prepare yourself to be ready to go for the season. And that's not just him; that's everybody. And everybody has to have that mentality when they come into camp.
Listen, if the kid hits and Rasheed Rice, after some suspension, comes back, they do have two viable receivers. And last year, most of the year, they did it without one. So if Rasheed Rice, who got better, it felt like, throughout the course of the season, Travis Kelce, Rasheed Rice, and Pacheco's always been good. We like him. Yeah. And if this kid hits, and again, I'm talking 65 catches, 3 touchdowns. He doesn't have to be
65. That's going to be a damn good season.
Well, 65 is 4 catches a game in this offense? 4?
A rookie?
Yeah, but receiver and corner and running back. Breece Hall, first carry can play.
I guess you're right. Rasheed Rice may be in a work release program for the first month of the season. I don't know where he is. Is he in jail? I don't know.
I don't know where he is.
Brutal offseason.
He had bad. But I think it's a suspension, but he'd be back.
Probably.
I think, didn't the team handle the suspension on that? I don't know.
Well, Chiefs love to just push things under the rug. So.
Well, that's kind of unfair. But I think everybody in the league pushes stuff under the rug.
Well, sort of, but the Chiefs, they get kind of a free pass at this stuff because they have Patrick Mahomes with Super Bowls.
Certainly an argument to. I respect them, but it's pro sports. I'm not looking for a locker room of perfect. Everybody's just on the straight and narrow. Sometimes people do a little. When you're 21 and rich, kids do crazy stuff.
I wouldn't know. I was never 21 and rich, so. But
But
it sounds
you had hoop earrings,
Yeah.
and you were at nightclubs. So you didn't have any lettuce. But if you'd have had lettuce, you'd have done.
Well, I acted like I had lettuce.
Yeah.
I had a credit card, which ran up some debt. But anyways, I am just curious. What do you think I would be like if the Jets took down the Chiefs in a playoff game? Just
I
spitball.
would take the day off.
I mean, it would be historic. All right, let's get to the next story. Speaking of teams I like, how about the 49ers? Forget this Brandon Ayuk nonsense. I'm not worried about it. They still got Deebo Samuel. I mean, he had 892 receiving yards, 225 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. An anonymous AFC executive said that although durability has been a bit of a concern, Deebo is the ultimate weapon. Gotta love it. Look at this crossing around over the
He
middle.
really
Tough.
is. He is.
He's just awesome, man.
He's a different kind of player. But the late Aaron Hernandez for New England, it was like you could put him in like backfield, slot. Deebo is just, there's just not a lot of guys like him. Cordarrelle Patterson's got a little bit of that. I think Debo's much better, but there are these players that are just big and talented, and you just kind of, offensive coach can just kind of figure out where to put them.
No, Kyle Shanahan is, I think, who was it that had him? Was it your guy Middlecoff had him as the number one coach?
Well,
I would have had him too.
Number 1A, Andy's one.
Oh, Andy Reid, obviously number one. But Shanahan's scheming up the best stuff for Deebo, and the ultimate weapon. It's on a team with Christian McCaffrey, who is catching like 100 passes, right, and rushing for 1,000 yards. I don't know. Is Deebo a better weapon than McCaffrey? I think he might.
No.
Well, this AFC
McCaffrey
executive.
take out Walter Payton. And there's an argument McCaffrey is neck and neck with Barry Sanders as the best running back in the history of the sport.
Well, hold on.
No, he's totally different.
LaDainian Tomlinson was unbelievable. I mean, that guy was.
He's third. McCaffrey could start at wide receiver in the league. Could be the best kick and punt returner in the league. Is the best back.
Deebo can do all that.
Deebo is not McCaffrey the running back. No way.
Fair. All right, final.
I didn't get invited to McCaffrey's wedding, and I was there in town.
Did you feel slighted?
A little bit. His dad saw me, though, came over and said, I apologize,
Was
my
it
son.
Ed's
great. Ed came over. It was, felt terrible that I wasn't best man. Whole thing didn't sit well with me, but I'm not going to get into it.
That's not a big deal. Final story. Let's get back to talking about dumpster fires. The New York Giants. Gosh, I love when you take shots at this team. Obviously, they tried to move Daniel Jones this offseason, specifically trading up for a franchise quarterback. Although they didn't get one, on Hard Knocks, GM Joe Shane asked the room if the group had seen enough of them to trade up for Jaden Daniels, to which Brian Daboll responds, I would.
Yep.
And on Hard Knocks, they explored the possibility of trading up for Drake May. So they were quarterback hunting.
Oh, there's absolutely no dispute the Giants were quarterback hunting. But here's where I'm going to defend. I think Daboll's actually.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to defend Joe Shane. I'll defend Daboll because I don't know where I land on Joe Shane. But we suggested, and this is what somebody I trust in the NFL and has been a source for me, Mara really wanted them to sign Daniel Jones because they think he's he's much more athletic than Eli, but he almost looks like Eli. Southern kid, both a David Cutcliffe connection. So there's this sort of, he's kind of like Eli's little brother. And he's not. Eli is one of the best ever road late game 2-minute quarterbacks. Never got hurt ever. So if the owner says sign this quarterback to a contract above his skill set, I'm going to mostly defend the coach and the GM who have to deal with all the shrapnel. Because he is just, and again, I don't want to pick on the kid because he is athletic. He reminds me of a more athletic Alex Smith.
His nickname is Vanilla Vic, right?
He can run.
That's a good nickname for Daniel Jones. He can run, but so what? He can't throw.
Well,
he's a turnover machine.
He does the turnovers.
Just hypothetical for the Giants, right? They go 5-12.
Well, they're not going to go 5-12.
Why not?
Because I think they've upgraded at receiver. They have a good coach and a good defense.
They have one of the lowest win totals in the NFL.
Okay, let's just go quickly. Let's just go through the schedule. Okay, they get the Vikings at home. They can win that game. I think they'll win that game.
I'll probably be on the Vikings in that
All
game.
these games are winnable. Good God,
really? The Browns game in Cleveland?
Well, Deshaun Watson, is he going to play?
Forget Watson. The defense of the Browns is loaded.
There's how many
Cowboys
unwinnable games here for the Giants?
Well, they're not beating the Browns. They're not beating the Cowboys.
Well, no, they're not beating the Ravens.
I don't think they're going to Seattle and
you
Daniel Jones is solving
you don't
McDonald.
think, but they could win that game. They can win every game on this. They're not beating the Ravens.